Why are so many people moving to Bali, and why should you consider moving to Bali as well? If you're new to the channel, my name is Joachim Badejoh and I help people become a digital nomad by earning an online income and living location independent. So I don't live in Bali, but I've spent a lot of time here this year. My perspective will be from somebody that's born and raised in Belgium, and I'm of course a digital nomad and I just like to travel around. And in this video, I will reveal to you why so many people choose Bali. I think the first thing we have to look at is the things that are happening in a lot of people's home countries, especially if we look at the Western world. The last years, a lot of things changed, gave a lot of people a taste of how it could or would be if you can work from anywhere in the world. And also after that, a lot of things became really expensive. Less and less people are able to even buy a house, which was always like the dream to like go to school, get a job, buy a house. So that is not affordable for a lot of people. And depending where you're from, the climate, like just imagine if you only have a summer for 3 months, that's cold, you know, like, and in the winter times, most people are not that happy or the vibes are not that nice. And also in a lot of Western countries, we have a very individualistic way of living, which would be good for some people, but other people just don't like it as much. And in today's world, it's easier than ever to get a remote job, even if you have zero experience. Because think about it, there are companies like Course Career and they help people get a remote job by learning them the specific things that they need for that specific remote job, and they will just teach them that and then help them find a job. And like these courses are from 500 euros one-time payment. Like that is so cheap compared to like going to college for 3-4 years and waiting that long. So because of that changed a lot. That's why I also partnered with them. So we have a link in the description to get $50 discount. But besides that, even me, I started a community where I'm helping people become digital nomads, freelancing, or even like starting your own online business. Because it's so easy today to get started with that. We didn't have all these opportunities 10 or 20 years ago. So if you want to work remotely in Bali, here's why. Because like first of all, you have visas. The visas, you have like a B211 visa, and that visa will allow you to stay up to 6 months in a country, or you even have the E33G visa, and this will allow you to work for 1 year in Bali. You can even bring your spouse or like your family members, and you can then work for 1 year in Bali, which is insane. It also has a very affordable cost of living. Like if you go out to a fancy restaurant, imagine you pay like, I don't know, 8 to 12, maybe 18 euros, like maximum if you go really, really fancy. In a Western society, that wouldn't even be possible. And I do have to say rent is expensive because like, for example, a guest house, I made a video about that. A guest house will cost you $600 US per month, which I think is a lot. If you want to rent a house or like a villa, that would cost you 1,800, 2,000 euros a month, which I think is quite a lot. And those prices are like ridiculous, but they're building so many villas here because people are still paying that here. Doing things here in Bali is also not that expensive. Activities, like there's so many things, of course, like going to the beach, going into nature, that's all free, but you have a lot of spiritual activities. You have a lot of meditations, yoga, breathworks, hypnotherapy, all those things that you can find here. And it's also a very good place if you want to do inner healing. That's why also a lot of people come to Bali for inner healing. And even though sometimes it's a little bit expensive, sometimes it's quite affordable. It really depends what your price budget is, of course. But that's also a reason why a lot of people are here in Bali, because you couldn't find all those things stacked in one place as well. But on the other hand, if you're a person that likes to party, go out, like that's also a possibility here because you have a lot of nightlife here. But I do have to say, like, in going to the club is not expensive, but alcohol is expensive, as like is coffee. I don't know why, but coffee is like almost same price as like in Europe, I would say. And if you are an entrepreneur, you're gonna love this place because in all fairness, I've never found a place with a hub of so many entrepreneurs in one area where it's just crazy to network. Like the people you get to know here is insane. Like if I look at how my network expanded just by being here, it's out of this world. I wouldn't have experienced that somewhere else because I feel this place attracts all the people from all over the world that have a similar mindset. They all come to this place. So if I feel the odd one out in my society, I would feel like almost 20 to 50% of the people are very similar like I am, which is pretty amazing in my opinion. Then you also have all the islands you can visit here. Like I'm in Canggu, which is like a very hot spot, like a lot of people are here. But then you have still Ubud, where all the spiritual people are, or like a lot of spiritual people. But then you have Uluwatu, where a lot of surfers are. But then even in between all those things, you have like so much nature. So it's like you can drive 20 minutes and you can be in a total different place. And that's what I like about Bali as well. It's like you have everything, but then still you drive out and you can be just in total nature, which is amazing, you know? Then let's talk about convenience. And this is actually crazy because if I told my dad I lived in Bali, he would think like, oh yeah, Bali is a third world country because he lives in the US. And I'd be like, no, I have more convenience here in Bali than in Belgium. I'll give you an example. Like one day I wanted to order, I wanted to buy a speaker, a music speaker, right, to play music. And I didn't know where I could find it. And they have a super app called Gojek or Grab. And I literally could just order a speaker and a driver would bring it to me in a minute. Or last time my friend was in Uluwatu, he forgot something in the villa and he ordered a driver to just bring it with the bike from Uluwatu to Canggu, and the price was still pretty affordable. Or like anything I want to eat or do, like the convenience here is crazy, which is actually better than in a Western world like in Europe. So I think that is also very mind-blowing. And then of course I have the local people, and the local people and their local culture is one of the craziest, because imagine like Indonesia is actually a very huge country, but they in Bali have their own spiritual beliefs. And if you are here for Nyepi or their New Year, you will get in contact with their culture and their spirituality, and every day their prayers that they do, and it is so beautiful. And I don't think there are a lot of countries where I've been where I was so mesmerized by people's religion and just the people itself. You know, I think people in general in Asia are very nice, but here in Bali as well. That are the positive things in my opinion. Then maybe some of the drawbacks from my perspective, and this could be different for everybody else, but after a while it also feels a little bit like, I would say, La La Land, Disneyland for grown-ups, because you have everything here, especially if you like live in Canggu or Seminyak, but that also takes away a little bit of their heritage, their culture. Like, I don't have that many local friends, while in Thailand I had a lot of local friends, because most local people here just work, and it's almost like they work here to service and then they go outside back to their place where they live. And that just makes me sometimes feel some type of way, you know, like it feels like, I don't know, it feels like a Western world here, which is strange. I remember arriving here and I remember like I could speak Dutch and 50% of the people would understand me. And of course now I know it's not that much, but it's like a melting pot of so many cultures here, but still somehow it feels a little bit off, because I feel like we're taking away of their tradition and there's so many constructions going on, and I don't know if it is beneficial for the local people. I think a lot of people argue like, yeah, they can rent their land and houses for such a high price for them, but is that so? Especially on the long term? I don't know. I need to talk with somebody about that, like understanding the sustainability of Bali. So that's something, the only thing that I sometimes worry about, and it's like just a gut feeling, right? I cannot really explain it. I don't know enough about it, but I should research more about it. So I hope this gives you a little bit of better understanding why so many people are choosing Bali and why Bali is an amazing place. Don't get me wrong. I think this is a place that I will call a home base where I would come at least every year. And don't forget, if you want to become a digital nomad, if you want to learn about the lifestyle, we have a community with courses where we teach everything what I've learned to have an online income, work as a freelancer, work as selling online products, physical products. If you're into that and you want to learn more, join our community, link is in the description, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Badejoh out.